Hi everybody, today I'm in Luxembourg, just outside of Vienna, and this is a place of a beautiful castle, Fransensburg Castle, and we're going to check that out today. Hi and welcome to Luxembourg, just a short 20-minute drive south of Vienna. Today I'm going to explore the Fransensburg, one of the most enchanting water castles I've ever come across. It's the place where Sissi spent her honeymoon and feels a bit like a 200-year-old Disneyland. You definitely don't want to miss coming here when you're in Vienna. The Fransensburg is a water castle built between 1801 and 1836 in the style of an old castle. Its name comes from Emperor Francis II, the last Holy Roman Emperor who died in 1835. He had the castle built on an artificial island next to the castle of Luxembourg, which already existed. Stick around to the end of the video for some useful tips for your trip to Fransensburg and some aerial shots of the castle. Let's start the tour at the Luxembourg Castle, which is built as a small palace and seems to house office buildings, exhibitions and events these days. But back in the days, it served as a getaway palace for the monarchs. Sissi used to ride around the park here, and even her son Rudolf was born here. While I didn't spend much time wandering around Luxembourg Castle, the palatial park in Luxembourg is super nice. It's a 250-hectare castle park designed in the style of an English landscape garden of the 18th century. And entrance is only €2.80, about $3.40. You can stroll around the various paths that lead to an artificial lake from where you can take a ferry boat to the Fransensburg, the water castle that is actually the highlight of the visit. The walk there takes about 20 to 30 minutes. There's also a small toy train going there if walking is not your forte. At the lake, you can grab something to eat or rent a paddle boat to cruise around the water castle. I'm now in the park of the Fransensburg, which you can see just behind me. And the only way to get there is actually with a ferry boat, which I'm going to take in a minute. The Fransensburg Castle itself is accessed by a small ferry boat that is pulled over the lake by ropes. It takes just a few minutes to cross the lake. The ferry costs 70 cents per person each way. There's also road access via a small bridge at the back of the castle, but the ferry is definitely more fun. Fransensburg, which translates to Francis Castle, was never really inhabited and rather designed by Emperor Francis II as a museum. It was originally opened to the public in the late 1800s to present the history, manners, customs, art, lifestyle of the so-called ancient days of the fatherland. Think Disneyland, but 200 years ago, just more realistic and with actual historic artifacts. The castle consists of two sections, the Ritterburg and the Knappenburg, which roughly translates to a section for knights and one for squires. The tour of the castle is quite informative and fun. It costs 11 euros, around $13 for adults, and is definitely worth it. You can get to see a lot of interesting and original artworks that were collected by the emperor to be presented in this museum-like structure. You can see a dungeon, weapons hall, several ornate rooms spread across 2 floors, a Hungarian coronation hall, the castle chapel and towers. The marble statues of the royal family are all original works of art. The one of Empress Maria Theresia is valued at over $1 million. Unfortunately, photography is not allowed inside the castle, so I can't show you the pictures from the tour. Tours start at the hour between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily. You can purchase the tickets at the museum shop inside the castle. There's also a nice restaurant that serves hearty Austrian food on the island, and you'll find clean restrooms in case you need to make a pit stop. How do you get to Luxembourg? The easiest way to Luxembourg is to take bus line 200 that leaves from the station Südtiroler Platz Hauptbahnhof in Vienna, which is also a U1 metro line stop. A one-way ticket costs about $5. The trip takes about 25 minutes. You can also take a train which leaves from Vienna's main train station to Luxembourg-Biedermannsdorf on an hourly basis and costs about the same. But I'd recommend the bus as it takes you closer to the castle. Lastly, you can of course drive there in about 20 minutes. There's ample free parking at Luxembourg Castle. How much time should you factor in? I'd say a visit to Luxembourg is a nice half-day excursion from Vienna, but you can also make it a day trip if you plan to have lunch there and want to do some additional activities like pedal boat tours, do some more walking, or grab a lawn chair and relax in the shade under one of the massive trees. So is it worth visiting Fransensburg in Luxembourg? I'd say definitely yes. If you have some extra time in Vienna and you want to get out of the city a bit, catch some fresh air, and visit a truly enchanting water castle, definitely check it out. It was refreshingly empty the time I visited compared to Schönbrunn Palace, and it still seems to be a bit of a secret as many travelers don't know about it. I certainly can highly recommend. Check this out. Okay, so that was a little tour to Luxembourg and to the Fransensburg. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to my channel, and we'll see each other in the next video. Bye bye.